Disabilities is saying about the possible change.
And in sports, Ohio football prepares for the MAC championship game. Newswatch starts right now.
Power is restored to portions of southeast Ohio after last night's severe winter storm put many in the dark. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sullivan Beach.
And I'm Jack Green. Wind gusts hit 20 and 30 miles per hour last night and continued into this morning. This was the scene in Portage County last night where residents in Aurora were hit with dangerous wind and even some lightning.
The system dropped multiple inches of snow around Cleveland and left many roads slippery into the morning. Forecaster Steve Nedlick joins us now in the Weather Center with the latest as more cold weather moves into southeast Ohio.
Steve, AEP says over 24,000 of its customers lost power from these strong winds last night. What can we expect from this new system that's moving in tonight?
Yeah, guys, we can really expect that wind to stay pretty consistent today. But as we move into tonight, not much snow in the area, but again, winds are going to be around 20 to 30 miles an hour. Now, this snow came about because we had a cold front move through the majority of the state that brought with it snow, wind, cold temperatures, and that really froze the road, and it made traveling last night very dangerous, and even this morning. So that's going to stick into tonight and early tomorrow morning. You can really tell here over the past 24 hours how this temperature just flowed through the state, and it really cooled off, and we never really rebounded as we moved into the morning this morning. Looking into how we looked today, we had temperature highs of 28 degrees. So again, they didn't get much higher than we saw last night. And again, had a low of 17 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Currently, pretty much the same, 25 degrees and overcast skies with those wind gusts sitting at around 12 to 15 miles an hour. Looking here, we can see that our friends up in Cleveland have been getting hammered with snow all day as they're around 3 to 6 inches, but we haven't seen much down in Athens or southern Ohio at that. So again, just wind and not much snow. Looking into tonight, again, another chilly one with a lot of wind, and that's going to make anywhere you go tonight a little bit of a rough walk. So stay tuned for my full weather to see when this cold leaves.
Thanks, Steve. As he just said, many of us here, we all have felt the wind today, and as more rounds of strong winds, which could cause more power outages in the area.
Yeah, and as winter quickly approaches and strong winter storms are making their way here, experts are providing tips to increase the lights, tips in case the lights go out. AEP Ohio says if your home loses power, be sure to have flashlights and fresh batteries or some way to make sure you can see. They also say it is important to have water and non-perishable food. With the weather being colder out, experts say sleeping bags or blankets to keep warm in case your heat goes out. Finally, experts say to make sure you have a phone available in case of an emergency.
Debate continues over whether or not to replace portions of the brick streets in uptown Athens. Today, the City Commission on Disabilities urged City Council to follow through on an ordinance replacing crosswalks at the intersection of Court and Union Street with brick stamped concrete. In a letter, the commission says the move would make the busy intersection more accessible for people with mobility issues. The issue of whether to replace the bricks with concrete or new bricks has sparked debate in the community, with those against saying the move would hurt the historical preservation of uptown Athens. The Commission of Historical Preservation and the Commission on Disabilities made a joint recommendation to the city back in 2022. The ordinance is up for second reading at City Council's meeting on Monday. Members hope to vote on it as soon as they can so work can take place over Ohio University's winter break. I saw walking up here, the Athens Christmas tree isn't officially lit yet, but decorations are going up.
PassionWorks artists and staff along with the city are rushing to get the tree done before the lighting ceremony tomorrow. PassionWorks representative Nancy Eppeling spent today thoughtfully placing decorations throughout the tree. But these decorations aren't typical ornaments. The old garland, recycled tinsel, and vinyl are all things Eppeling says would end up in the trash if not on the tree.
So it's a lot of just stuff like that that's headed towards the landfill, and we try to divert it and then make it into something new.
Even the tree topper is made out of recycled material. The tree lighting ceremony starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow. There will also be carriage rides, ornament decorating, and the big man himself, Santa Claus.
The Ohio Department of Natural Resources is teaming up with farmers and hunters feeding the hungry to support local food banks. Hunters are donating white-tailed deer meat as part of a state grant. Each donated deer is sent to a verified charity across Ohio. One harvested deer can supply enough meat for about 200 meals. To donate, hunters can bring their meat to the closest certified deer processing centers in Ohio. For more information, you can go to the website right there on your screen. Local counties in Southeast Ohio will soon see state funding heading their way for land remediation projects. Southeast Ohio Port Authority in Washington County will receive almost $3 million to demolish and clean up of a building from Belpre Medical Campus. Meigs, Perry, and other counties will also get millions of dollars as part of the 9th round of funding for the Brownsfield remediation project. The project aims to clean up previously used land that may contain hazardous substances. This funding comes as part of over $86 million for projects statewide.
Federal authorities say they have taken a big step in dismantling one of Cleveland's most significant gangs. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced 18 arrests Wednesday among suspected members of the Fully Blooded Felons, or FBF. The gang's highest-ranking member is among those taken into custody.
They're a fully blooded felon or another gang. Members who have yet to be caught should think twice before continuing to engage in such violent, illegal, and disruptive behavior.
Prosecutors are charging them with a range of crimes, including murder, kidnapping, and drug trafficking. New York police appear to be making headway on identifying the person who killed a healthcare company CEO yesterday. Laura Aguirre has the latest.
New York police are hoping this photo could help them solve the brazen killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Thompson was gunned down by a masked shooter pre-dawn Wednesday as he walked to a conference at a Midtown Manhattan hotel. Police say the gunman then fled on an e-bike into Central Park. Investigators released these images Thursday morning of a person of interest they want to question in the case, taken at a hostel on the city's Upper West Side.
At this hostel, they said they had this individual who had the same coat, who was wearing a mask. He almost never took it down.
Except for one brief moment at the front desk, say police, who interviewed several people at the hostel.
They remembered that person. So he's a person of interest, and they want to get him identified to determine if he is their suspect or he can be eliminated.
While police work that lead, new clues are emerging on the bullets themselves, according to several law enforcement officials. The words delay and depose were discovered on ammunition found at the scene. Depose was etched into a shell casing from a fired round. Delay was on a live round that wasn't fired, but ejected when the shooter was clearing a jam.
They are operating on the theory that the bullets had a message against insurance companies who, when hit with claims, will delay or go to court and take depositions.
If someone has heard him use those words before and sees that picture, especially of his face in the Starbucks, they would be able to put two and two together and get in touch with law enforcement, hopefully. I'm
Laura Aguirre reporting.
Meanwhile, the leadership team at United Health Group confirms that executives are supported an in-house security team, including at this week's conference in New York. However, Brian Thompson's security detail was not with him when the early morning shooting occurred. A powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 7.0 Ohio struck off the coast of Northern California. The earthquake center hit in Eureka this morning. The city manager says so far there are no reports of any significant damage. A tsunami warning was issued for parts of California and Oregon's coastal areas, but it has since been canceled, and at least a dozen aftershocks have taken place since. Over 10,000 customers are without power in Humboldt County, California, which is the closest county to the center of the earthquake. Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency to make providing aid easier.
2 kindergarten students are in, quote, extremely critical condition tonight after a school shooting in California. Yesterday's shooting at Feather River School on Seventh-day Adventists left 2 injured and 1 dead. Authorities say first responders found the adult male suspect dead with what they believe is a self-inflicted gunshot wound and a handgun nearby. Boyd County officials are now looking into the shooter's potential motive.
We have received some information that leads us to believe that the subject responsible for this shooting targeted this school because of its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Officials say it's unclear at this time whether the shooting was a hate crime.
Coming up, how to avoid the emergency room while decorating for the holidays.
And a piece of history crafted into a ring. What one jeweler is doing with scrap metal.
A cold front moved through overnight. Find out how long this cold snap lasts as we move into the weekend.
The love that we are putting inside each piece needs to be recognized.
You have to put the hours into it, but in the end you make something beautiful.
It's cooking with only fire, no water, no electricity. I love what I do.
No quiero despertar, quiero seguir viviendo este sueño.
Tonight at 9:30 on WOUB.
Ready for an out-of-this-world adventure? Mexico Made with Love weaves together a celebration of art, tradition, and creativity, and we want you to join in with an exciting virtual scavenger hunt. Scan the QR code or go to pbs.org/experience for details and to download the Goose Chase app. Then get started on fast-paced, interactive missions where you'll compete with PBS fans across the country. Join the fun now. The hunt begins November 25th and ends December 13th. Mexico is made with love, and PBS is made with you.
This is you on the cusp of your next chapter.
It's a passageway into something new.
It just seeps into you.
It's a groundbreaking moment.
We can make it ours.
We're coming out hot. We're starting here. It's definitely going to be a treat for their palate.
What a story.
She had the imagination of a genius.
Each time I go up there, it's the sense of newness.
3, 2, 1!
Showtime.
We're all running.
It's beautiful.
Cherish every moment. Continue to laugh.
We hope you'll join us.
There is no going back.
It's time for a new beginning.
We're in the middle of a cold snap here in southern Ohio, and today was nothing different than that. We had a high, currently our temperature's at 25 degrees with overcast skies. Now that is due to this cold front that moved through overnight, but it has been pushed out by this high pressure system, so we're not really seeing that precipitation, but we are really still looking at those high winds and those bitterly cold temperatures. So if you have any outdoor plans, make sure you really bundle up because it is chilly out there. As you can see from this, we had a lot of air come down from Canada, and it's made its way into Ohio and surrounding states, and that's really cooled a lot of us off. So this has become, half the country is seeing these cold temperatures. You can tell how, the lake effect band is still affecting the Cleveland area and surrounding cities like that, but down here in southern Ohio, we haven't seen much snow, just those cold temperatures and that wind. Looking into tonight, again, really chilly temperatures, a high of 17 degrees, and again, mostly cloudy skies. So again, if you have anything outside, really bundle up. Looking here, we've had this high pressure system move all these clouds out, and so that has allowed us to really be clear of all these warnings and these wind chill events. But again, we still have some questionable weather out there, so give yourself a few more seconds heading out the door. Looking into tomorrow, we're not really going to see anything different. A little bit higher of temperatures with a high of 35 and a low of 19, but the sun does come out because of that high pressure system, and that is going to really show us what we're going to get for the rest of the weekend until those clouds return on Sunday. Again, looking at tomorrow, that high pressure system moves a little south of us, but it will do the job in clearing out these cloudy skies, and it'll give us slightly more pleasant weather. So if you have any plans like driving long distances, you'll be good this weekend. Again, looking at Saturday, more of the same. We get some snow up north, but nothing here down in southern Ohio. So again, pretty pleasant weather. And again, on Saturday, we start to see a low pressure system set up near the Gulf, and that is going to impact us as we head into the middle of next week, and that's when we might see a storm or two, and again, it might turn into snow as we get these colder temperatures. So we're really starting to look at this down here as maybe the first big snowstorm of the year in southern Ohio, so really be on the lookout for that. As we head into our 7-day, we have on Sunday, clouds move back into the area with a high of 51 degrees and showers, and that is really going to be what we're looking at for the majority of next week, with those clouds really not going anywhere until Thursday, where we see those temperatures start to dip back down. So we won't see a lot of snow, at least until Wednesday or Thursday, but we're looking more rain.
Gosh, I never thought I'd be so excited to see 55-degree weather.
I know, it's been so cold these past few days, going anywhere just made you really want to put a hat on, a coat. You really wanted to stay inside.
I mean, it made it feel like it's almost Christmas, actually.
Exactly.
Because, we've been through it. It's been so hot recently, and now it's just kind of it's cold, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the big thing, we talked about it earlier, the Christmas tree lightings tomorrow. How are we looking for that?
We're actually, all things considered, pretty pleasant weather. No snow, but it's going to be, again, just kind of chilly and that windy weather. So it'll be a so-so for the Christmas lighting, but not bad compared to what we had today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Steve. Keeping your holiday happy and healthy this season. Whether cooking, decorating, or toy buying, safety experts are reminding families to take precautions to keep safe from holiday-related hazards. Reporter Michael Yoshida has more.
Decorating mishaps can ruin your Christmas vacation.
Honey?
In the 2023 holiday season, about 14,900 people were treated in emergency rooms due to holiday decorating-related injuries. That according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
I've seen people that fall off the ladder, they fall off the roof. Even when they're just trying to be careful climbing down, they just slip because they're wearing the wrong shoes and end up having to spend the holidays in the hospital with serious injuries.
So whether reaching for the top of the tree or stringing lights, Dr. Carol Parsons, an emergency medicine physician for Cleveland Clinic, offers this advice when decking the halls. Make sure both legs of the ladder are firmly planted. And
when you're up on the ladder, a lot of people end up reaching over for the next strand of lights when really they should be getting off the ladder, moving it over, and repositioning it.
Parson also says if using an artificial tree, look for a fire-resistant label. And if you go for the real thing, make sure you water it to keep it from drying out and potentially becoming a fire hazard. And when decorating the tree, be careful with the ornaments.
Most nowadays are plastic, but there's a fair amount that are ceramic or glass. People drop them, they step on them, they slice their fingers on them, and they end up coming to see us in the ER every year.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Digging crews in Pennsylvania are hoping for a miracle, but are expecting to recover remains of a woman who fell into a sinkhole looking for her cat. Pennsylvania State Police says there are no signs of life in the effort to find 64-year-old Elizabeth Pollard. Crews in Unity Township have been trying to locate her for the past 2 days. Police found her in a car parked near a restaurant and her 5-year-old granddaughter inside. Just steps away from the vehicle was a freshly opened sinkhole above an abandoned mine. The granddaughter was not harmed and is back with her parents. Diamonds are a popular choice for wedding rings, but a Colorado man specializing in custom jewelry uses unique materials in every project, and this time he adds an element of space. Maggie Wolansk has more.
What started off as a hobby,
it's a lot of concentration,
turned into a business.
making sure your hands are steady.
It took some convincing from friends for Ben Bosworth to change careers.
I always thought of myself as an engineer, never like a jewelry maker.
His talents now shine through his business, Honest Hands Ring Co.
So this is one of the coolest drawers in our shop. People send me materials from all over the world, and we're able to put those in their rings. So for instance, we've got a saxophone and a trumpet. They met in high school band.
A lot of times these materials are one of a kind.
So you have one shot to get it right.
Recently, his team was challenged to make a ring with a piece of history.
It's kind of like, there's not like a guide online to figure out how to put Apollo 11 space material into a ring.
Weeks of planning went into the piece. There was even a test trial.
We got this emergency space blanket to test it, make a fake ring, make a test ring to see if it would work. Because I didn't want to commit to cutting a part of like basically national history for a ring.
Working with a background in engineering, each step is precise.
So this is polishing compound.
To make sure the final product is stellar.
Super excited to show you this. Wow.
And it fits.
And it fits, that's good.
Because when you're working with a piece that reached the moon,
Having that like little piece of history in the shop feels really special.
it's motivation to keep reaching for the stars.
Because it's been 7 years of doing this, and you know, only in those last couple years have I seen the success to actually like really grow the business.
The customer who ordered that custom ring said he waited for months to bid on the items at auction. He said that he had a childhood dream of becoming an astronaut. So when it came to time to pick out a wedding band, he knew what he wanted to incorporate, that bit of history. And next in sports, Ohio football is just 2 days away from the MAC championship game. Get a preview of the game and more when we come back.
Sherlock Holmes is the world's most famous detective. But why didn't his creator, Arthur Conan Doyle, love him as much as the rest of us do? In this series, I'm tracking down clues and evaluating the evidence to discover where creator and creation diverged. I'm hoping to open a little window into Arthur's mind.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
Let's go, baby. Come on.
Whoa, that's a mystery.
Please turn the page.
Are you kidding me?
How did you even find this?
That's mind-blowing. You have unleashed the best storytelling ever.
Here's your book of life.
Oh my goodness.
Hey. Hey, you. We know what you did. And we think you're just the most magnificent person ever. Because you support public television. And you did it by donating your car to our station. Vehicle donations like yours bring significant funding to the quality news and programming you turn to every day. So now, it's time to celebrate you and all of our supporters that keep us going.
One snowman cake, present and correct.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
We have much to be grateful for.
Just what I wanted for Christmas.
I had hoped for the opportunity to dazzle.
Dazzle?
Good news indeed.
It's been a big day for Ohio football. The Bobcats took home plentiful amount of MAC honors, and head coach Tim Albin won the MAC Coach of the Year award, while Bradley Weaver and Coleman Owen were named to the All-MAC first team. 5 Bobcats were named to the All-MAC second team: Anthony Tice III, Parker Titsworth, Carson Heindecker, Parker Navarro, and DJ Walker, while 3 were named to the All-MAC third team: Blake Leak, Shea Taylor, and Coleman Owen as a specialist. Of course, you can win all of the awards that you'd like, but taking home the big prize, the conference championship, is every school's goal at the beginning of the season. Ohio has the chance to do just that this Saturday at Ford Field in Detroit, taking on the Miami Redhawks in the Battle of the Bricks rematch, this time with everything on the line. And it's so hard to believe that we're already in the month of December, and you know what that means. Basketball season is here, and oh man, do we have a great matchup in Stewart tonight. Dare I say it, this could be the game that decides who wins the TVC Hawking this season. The Waterford Wildcats have won the Hawking 20 years in a row, but the Lancers of Federal Hawking are looking to write their own history. Both of these teams are coming off a deep tournament run last season. The Wildcats made it all the way to the Division IV state final, but would end up losing 42-29 to the hands of Fort Loramie. For Fed Hawk, they made it to the district final game, losing to Portsmouth West 47-25. These two teams split this season series in one piece in 23-24. The Lancers won the first contest in Waterford 44-38, and then in the reverse fixture, it was the Wildcats coming out on top in Stewart 44-25. These were the games that really decide who took the Hawking. The only Waterford in-conference loss was the one against the Lancers, while Fed Hawks suffered 2-1 to the Wildcats and 1 to Belpre. Now, for this one, man, is it going to be hard to tell who can take it, and because of how early on it is this season, records won't give us any hints either. There is one thing for certain, though. One of these two teams will go home with that first defeat in the losing column tonight. If the Wildcats want to avoid that fate, it will be all about getting the likes of seniors Avery Wagner and Kendall Surrey going right from the tip-off. Wagner is bound to be the force in the paint. Good luck driving inside, because you'll be meeting a brick wall, while Surrey can pop open a shot from just about anywhere and has vision to create passing lanes and chances. On the opposite side of the court, the Lancers will be looking to capitalize off star point guard Brienne Cottrell. The sophomore is coming off winning the Harwood Heroes Rising Star Award last season and has shown no signs of slowing down, scoring 28, 15, and 24 points in the Lancers' 3 games. We'll also see the first full season for senior Jaylee Osborne. The Trimble transfer adds even more firepower to this Fed Hawk team. Wow, that's an action-packed weekend we've got here in Southeast Ohio. And for more updates on Ohio football, stay tuned to all WOUB Showcase for all of your Bobcat needs this championship weekend. And that is all the time we have for sports today.
Thanks, Ellie. Still ahead. Our team of forecasters here at WOUB are pretty great, but the best weather prediction comes from something you may not expect.
Cyril, it's snowing.
Will you just look at that?
We are planning something rather special.
Lights, music.
There's such a lot for you to see.
Have you ever had that feeling? You're exactly where you belong.
Stream classic Call the Midwife specials with PBS Passport, leading up to an all-new holiday special on Christmas Day.
They were fighting a war.
These people had suffered greatly under the Germans.
They needed some downtime.
Harry was thinking of maybe having a Christmas party.
The people in Wills felt they had to pay honor to these soldiers, and to this day they have.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB. For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
I shot 3 times, and then I heard someone say, "Get down," and we all got down.
This can happen anywhere. When it happens in the place you love, it's a gut punch.
I left it up to them to decide what the best course of action is. I just wanted him to get help.
It's become clear that there were many, many breakdowns along the way.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Scientists are marveling over the world's oldest known wild bird and her brand new egg. A 74-year-old albatross named Wisdom was spotted at an island sanctuary in Hawaii with the egg and a new partner. It's Wisdom's first known egg in 4 years. Experts are optimistic the egg will hatch and that Wisdom is fit enough to raise another chick. The typical lifespan for an albatross is between 12 and 40 years old.
Google is introducing a new artificial intelligence tool that it says the most accurate 15-day weather forecast. GenCast was made by DeepMind, a London-based Google company that develops AI applications. GenCast was trained on 4 decades of weather data. Then they compared the 15-day forecast of both systems for predicting 2019's weather. DeepMind says GenCast forecasts were more accurate than the center's more than 97% of the time. DeepMind also points out GenCast's 15-day forecast can be generated in minutes, while it takes a supercomputer hours to do the same.
You know, as great as a supercomputer is at telling us the weather, I don't know, Steve. I trust you enough.
Yeah, I trust you way more too, honestly, than all that.
I trust you enough. So,
appreciate it.
With that, you're more than welcome. So with that being said, you know, what's the rest of this weekend kind of looking like?
You know, the human forecasters are thinking it's going to be a pretty chilly one before we see those temperatures bounce back up before the beginning of next week. We're going to start to see those temperatures go back up 51, 55, and that's going to do it for the weather.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Good night.